Hey, I'm Mike, and this is a quick reference guide for all of the blending modes in Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint. We're on the Add mode, which is a pretty simple one to understand. I've got an ink painting here, ink and gouache painting of Dave Grohl rocking out. That's the bottom layer. This top layer is set to Add. The way that Add works is it takes the RGB value of the set layer, so the layer that is set to Add, and adds that to the layer below. So the colors are going to be much brighter, but it does this in a combinatory way. It's not going to overwrite. So if I have this super red color, you can see, this isn't a very high resolution scan, you can see that there are variations in color, which means that it's combining them. Whatever color you have, you are going to definitely get a shift pretty hard to that color, but it's not going to be, it's not like you're just using the brush, and I'm just using a paintbrush here, so you're not just, you're not going to see just the, all the pixels be the same color. So for that, it's great for creating interesting effects and creating very intense lighting, but it can also be used. Let's come up with a couple of uses here. Let's say this was like a horror piece, and we wanted to do kind of a ugly cast light coming from the top. One way to do that would be to fill the entire piece with green, and of course you can go into you could go into here and change the saturation as you needed to, and get it whatever color you wanted. We can kind of make it this ugly color and bring up the brightness a little bit. So let's just say there's this intense green. We'll call it a stage light. Okay, and then we could this is transparent pixels, and then we could kind of remove this from the areas where the light wouldn't be hitting. So probably this guitar looks like it's turned just a little bit. I wouldn't hit any of that. And, we could go through here and remove the parts that it's not going to hit. It's probably not going to have much of an effect on his shirt. Maybe just the top. And then you would go through and you could render out. It's not going to have any effect there. Probably not the strap. And create this really interesting, glow. And you can make that any color you want, for whatever your purpose is. Right, so intense, big, wholesale, intense lighting changes that have a variance in value. Now that's something like this. Maybe it might not look fantastic, but if you're coming up with a concept and you just want to hard light something, or you're working fast, it's always going to be best to go through and hand render all this stuff. But these finishing layers, these adjustment layers, can make huge changes with minimal work. We're talking seconds of work. You can just to do a concept of something or whatever. And when you have this, also, you can always dial back the opacity and get whatever desired effect you're intending, and then combine it with some other stuff. I'd say that as a whole adjustment layer, that's probably what Add is most used for. But it really shines to me. I use it to create super intense, interesting lighting effects. So I'm going to make this brush a little bit smaller. And although I haven't done this in other videos, I'm going to use Add and Subtract together, just to show you. Let's just say I really wanted to create like a crazy, kind of psychedelically vibrant piece. Like if this was, the Foo Fighters are kind of a mainstream rock band, so it might not play thematically with them, but let's just say that this was a Jimi Hendrix portrait or something like that. I probably have a Hendrix somewhere. I should have used that, but if we just wanted to get in here and just play a little bit. And you'll see, since it keeps the relative relationship between the pixels underneath, it can really create some fun effects. I think we need some blue in here. I'm not saying that this is improving or distracting from the piece. I'm just trying to get you an idea of what you can, the kind of big lighting changes that you can make, sort of big swooping changes that are, that can be really cool looking. Now, since this is a scan, there's kind of pixels. This background isn't transparent. So when I Alright, now I'm going to add another layer over top. We're going to call it subtract. Now remember, with subtract, you're going the opposite of everything. So we can start blue. Whoops. My pen is running out of power. And of course, you can always dial back the transparency and create lesser effects. See how intense these are when it's all the way up? Dial that back. Dial that back. And you get kind of a cool psychedelically lit piece. That's how I use Add. That's how Add works. It's certainly more versatile than something like Screen or some of the other glow effects that change the contrast. You're not changing the contrast. You're not changing the relationship between the pixels. So even when you fill, you're able to get you're able to maintain the integrity of the piece below. And of course, the main advantage to all these things is that they're non-destructive. It's just a mask over the top that's making a calculation so that you can, you can go right back to your original artwork if what you were trying didn't work out. So hope this has been helpful. Please see my channel for videos on every single one of the modes in both Photoshop and Manga Studio. Like, subscribe, and leave comments if you have either questions about what I did or ideas, questions about something else in Photoshop or Manga Studio you'd like me to make a video on. I'm trying to fill gaps in content. So, and yeah. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.